Hey, and Happy New Year! So, the first episode of 2021 is going to be about the locality of Hansaviertel in Mitte. You can see part of it right behind me, those houses over there. And the bridge is coming from the locality of Moabit. This is where I'm currently standing. So, to find out more about Hansaviertel, we're going to cross this bridge. I will just give you a short impression that it's located right next to this river. It's the River Spree. And yeah, let's see what's coming. So I managed to get me a new microphone and I hope that the sound quality is gonna be improved. So as I said, we're coming over this bridge with some actually quite nice features and we're entering Hansaviertel. Hansaviertel is the smallest locality of Berlin by size, with some 0.53 square kilometers. And you already see, very typical, there's a mix of some old houses and some newer houses. Wow, so there's this mix of old and new architecture. And I'm now walking along the river, and yeah, this is pretty weird because you can see this old substance at some points, and then there's some modern architecture and some super modern architecture, like here. This one's still under construction, I think. And right in front of me there are some more similar but smaller houses. So this whole area gets another shape, another design. But I guess it's a pretty good location for living because you're super central. It's relatively quiet here. Yeah, and you have the river. So what is really remarkable about Hansaviertel is that they have a population of about 6,000, but they have 2 S-Bahn stops and 1 U-Bahn stop. And this is because it's so central. Right behind me you can see a Tiergarten. That's besides Bellevue, one of the 2 stops. Here's an S-Bahn coming in of the S-Bahn, and then there's Hansaplatz, which is an U-Bahn stop. We might check it later. Yeah, and a lot of trains coming and going, and people. Well, I think these stops are not super frequented, but overall they are very central, and yeah, so they are an important part of the Berlin public transport system. So I went underneath the railway, under the bridge over there, where's the station. And here you have some super cool, really beautiful old houses. Some of the few ones that have survived the Second World War. Here you have a newer one. And now we're going to the north, so the opposite direction of from where I've come, but now at the other side of the railway, of the S-Bahn. And you can see that there are some modern houses here as well. So this whole area, there's nothing left of those old buildings. Oh, by the way, there's a nice Regional Express in that fancy red color. And this whole area here has been built, I think in the 1960s or 70s, I'm gonna check it. And it was the International Building Exhibition. And there's many famous architects built some of or planned some of these houses, and I'm going to check out on them and show you a few details. So the year was actually 1957. In this year, the most renowned architects from all over the world came together to create their idea of modern architecture. Each of them created a single house in a size from very small to very big. In between the houses you can find a lot of space and green areas, some of the concepts of modern architecture.
But some of the buildings are also quite, well, I would say ugly, to be honest. Over the quarter you can find these maps that show the houses and the names of the architects that participated on the right-hand side. The white spot in the center here marks the Hansaplatz. Hansaplatz is the central square, and here in the background you will find this new black building that I showed you a little earlier. In the other direction you will find Siegelsäule, one of the most famous monuments of Berlin. The whole area has a very distinctive flair and look. Here you have the library, and you also have some forms of modern art on squares like this one. The underground station has been refurbished recently, and you have also a very famous theater called Grips Theater. However, the entrance is located right next to this, well, center of shopping, and yeah, the look and feel is not too great. The concept of shopping in the 50s was definitely different from today. Right behind Hansaplatz you find some more examples of the Internationale Bauausstellung.
So I'm right now in front of the Akademie der Künste, Academy of Fine Arts, in this grey building. Another example of modern architecture of the late 50s, very functional. And yeah, as this tour is slowly coming to an end, I would like to mention this place because, of course, it's higher education, and there have been some really famous people who attended this university or college. And also they have some good exhibitions over there. I've seen one about urban development a couple of years ago. Well, right now it's closed because of COVID, of course, but yeah, you should check it out once everything's going as it used to be. So if there's one thing at the whole tour you do not want to miss, then it's Café Buchwald or Konditorei Buchwald and their famous Baumkuchen. You just have to try those sweet treats. And for me, it's time to say goodbye now, and I hope you enjoyed this tour and looking forward for the next one. Cheers.